Hey Jake, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks very much for doing this, and especially on a show day.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, it's been a bit chaotic, but exciting.
Yes, very cool, very cool. And yeah, well, congratulations on Last Man Dancing. I'm going to be taking it to Fire Island this weekend and listening to it very, very loud all weekend.
Great, great. Yeah, I'm hoping it makes its rounds out there.
Yes, yeah, definitely will do. And it takes us on such a journey. I love the experience of listening through it, sort of track by track in its entirety, and I really encourage everyone to do that. And I wondered if you could give me a bit of an insight into, yeah, creating that musical journey that you take us on with the album.
Uh it's this album started just kind of like bit by bit, right? And then like once I kind of realized it was gonna be just like a dance record through and through, um, I started thinking about basically front loading it with just the more accessible stuff and the stuff that's just like sort of easier, the pop songs. And then I just really wanted to like indulge myself and make something uh make something connected, um make something that sort of took you on a ride. I kind of kept thinking about, yeah, just like getting on a ride like that. I always wanted to make an instrumental, so it's just like starting with that instrumental and like eight ball and sort of going on this trip. And yeah, it was just like, and I knew maybe it was going to be a little stranger and not necessarily what people expected, or but I'd never sort of done anything like that. I mean, night work, the second half of night work is like connected, but like I've never really like the record kind of goes into places I've never been. I sort of disappear off of it for a while. Um, and yeah, it's just kind of like it was fun for me to sort of subvert expectations a little bit and also just make myself happy. And I'm such like it's true. I am very much like a prog rock guy in certain ways. Like I love really long songs. I love stuff that, you know, that does take you on a trip. I like really sort of cinematic uh music, cinematic feelings, and I sort of incorporated all of those into into the record. And I'm, hopefully it's successful. And I just really love it a lot and spent a lot of time. It was painstakingly made.
But yeah, it gave you joy, as you said, as you were creating it. And it definitely gives it to me listening to it, and it's kind of impossible not to shake your bones as you kind of listen to it. But there are also sort of like darker themes in there, and I just wondered, like, how consciously do you sort of balance the sort of joy and the upbeat with the darker themes, and how important is it to kind of to have both there, sort of lyrically and musically, I guess.
It's super important to me. I mean, like I have a real sinister, menacing side, and like I think it makes it always sort of has to be there in my music, and I've got to balance that out. I think it really, um, and that's why I love albums, because these songs are all in conversation with one another. But there's always going to be kind of a dark side. I mean, I think menacing is a great way to sort of put it. It's just like in my personality, I love reading and writing fiction. I love sort of telling stories. I love, taking people on a bit of a journey. And there's some creepy stuff. There's some creepier stuff on this record, you know?
Yeah. And
And I love that. I love that you clue into that too. Like it's very, people do think of me. I love making feel good music. I love lifting people's spirits. I love positive music, but it's also really fun to like have a little bit of adventure in there too, I think.
yeah, yeah. And I think
I mean, when I was growing up, I was born in 78. And so I grew up in a golden age, in the early 80s, mid 80s of like of storytelling that had, you know, kids movies and stuff had, they were scary. Like there was always this dark side to like the entertainment that I grew up on. Even though there'd be like it would be a family movie or whatnot, there would still be this like dark, sinister energy to a lot of this stuff. And I really feel like I have incorporated that into what I do.
Yes, and it's fun to go back and watch some of those 80s movies and think, oh, this was a kids movie back
Oh
then.
yeah, I've never stopped watching them really.
Yeah, like the Jane Fonda voice very much captures that because it's you know, and also that sort of blend because it's, you know, she seems very inviting, but actually that's kind of sinister too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a real epic sort of, yeah, say cinematic kind of sci-fi vibe to that song, which I love. And
Yeah, it gets weird. I don't
yeah.
know what I was like. I was writing. I wrote it with Lisbon. I wrote it in Lisbon. Me and Boys Noise wrote it, and we were just having fun. I just remember. I just started thinking. There's all. Yeah, I started just like telling this story about aliens and. Um, yeah, there's a very kind of sci-fi. There's something a little bit too. There's something a little bit Brian Ferry about that song as well. There's like a strange kind of little drip of like Roxy Music influence in there that just sort of popped out.
Yes. And the guest stars that you've got on this just feel like the ultimate like house party guest list. Like if you were allowed to sort of play that game of, oh, who, you know, who do you want to come around to your house for a party? And you've got everyone really that you'd want.
I think so. Yeah, including, by the way, including all the producers on this record, including like, you know, Von Oliver, Evan Blackington, you know, Leshev, who his name's Michael Cheever, Boys Noise. Like these are all dear, dear friends of mine. And like when I tell you that we had fun making this stuff, we really, really did have a good time. I mean, you know, that's the best part of finishing music is kind of just the memories of making it. And we, you know, we did have, I like making music with friends. It's important to me.
Yeah. And Kylie is having a bit of a moment, isn't she, with Padam Padam?
Yes, I'm so happy about it. It's so fun. It's fucking great. It's just like, you know, it is definitely going to be a song of the summer.
Yes. Yeah, well, I think this is the album of the summer because hers isn't coming until my birthday, 22nd of September. So she can have the single of the summer, you can have the album of the summer.
Great. Yeah. No, that's I've always been an album guy anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I've been a fan of Kylie since like I was a little, you know, 1988. And so it's always weird to me when she seems a little underrated in the States. So it's great to have for people to sort of find her again, especially younger people, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. What kind of vibe did you want to create with Voices, your track with Kylie, and what were some of the influences on that one?
You know, it's the oldest song, made it a long time ago, and it's funny. I just always there was something I felt was really special about it. I just always really loved it. I don't know if she ever really like it's funny. I think she was always just kind of like, all right, if you say so. I don't think she really ever got it. But thankfully she humored me and let me put it out. But I really wanted to put that song out. Like it was just one of those songs. Same thing with like Do the Television. There was like, you know, that song never really had a chorus. Scissors wrote sort of concepted it out a long time ago, but I did a lot of more work on it. And it's like those two songs, I just really wanted to make a home for them. And, you know, I was doing my last solo record, which was a completely different sound. At the time, she was doing Golden, which is a completely different sound. So it was just like not really what we were doing at the time. And I wanted to, I think the inception of this record was really to start like building some scaffolding around it and starting to see what could sound good next to it. So it was the seed for this album in a lot of ways. And I think also, you know, there is a lot of feel good stuff and fun stuff, but it's Voices has like a bit of that. There's something moody and like a little mysterious about it. And I think that also was a seed for sort of those elements on this record as well.
Yeah. And Big Freedia sounds a little different on this one too, how I've heard it before, like using her voice in a different way.
Yeah, I thought it would be really interesting to do something, yeah, very different with Freedia. And I wanted to just, yeah, make Frida sound kind of surprising. And, I think Frida is one of the most incredible people on the planet. And it's an honor to have her on this. And also just, the New Orleans connection. It just I'm glad that this record still has some New Orleans on it because it's, I feel like it's my hometown now.
Yes. And yeah, she's someone that if you need to get a party started, invite Big Frida.
Honey, like she is like the ultimate party.
Yeah.
My God, force to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you don't until you're in a room with Frida recording vocals, the voice is unlike anything. It doesn't come out of her mouth. It like emanates from her body. It's like it's amazing.
Yeah. And so you're on tour now around the UK, and what are you enjoying about performing these songs live? And you got Glastonbury coming up too, Mighty Hoopla.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, so tonight we did like a tour with Duran Duran around the UK, which was so much fun. It was such a blast. Tonight's our first show of like my solo stuff, and I'm feeling it's gonna be fun. I feel like it's a bit ambitious. Um, I think it's gonna be fun. Hopefully, like there won't be any snags or anything. There's like, there's six people on stage at certain points. There's a few costume changes. So it's interesting, but I do play a lot of scissors. I mean, the show will be like an hour and a half tonight. I don't think I've ever played it like a solid hour and a half. So we'll just see. I'm just gonna kind of go for it and see how it goes. Like my first look is basically based off the album cover. I've never kind of run out on stage in such sort of like casual, like, I'm just like running out there in like shorts and a t-shirt. I glam up a bit later in the show, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I just need to remember to have fun.
Yeah. Where do you like to dance these days? Is it like kind of a big club vibe, or you rather be at home, or an intimate club where?
I've had it with big clubs. I mean, like, once a season or something, like I'll go to like a big queer party, but like shit's just too big. I want to like I don't know. I want to like make new friends and make out with people and stuff. And I just feel like in smaller environments, it's just a little sexier and sort of more. There's just, I feel like more intimate spaces, whether it's a house party or whether it's like a smaller club, a smaller dance floor. I feel like there's more chances for connection with people.
Yeah,
And
ironically, it's yeah, like kind of like
I
the internet,
don't, wait, say
kind of
that.
like the internet because there's so many people on the internet, and it's a similar thing in real life. And there's so many people, it's just like,
Yeah,
sorry,
I feel like sometimes when you end up at these giant parties and it's just like all these hot guys, and it's just like everybody just sort of cross cancels each other out. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of overload, and I don't know. I think I turned 45 this year. I think I've kind of like hit the ceiling on certain environments that I'm just like, what else are you gonna find in there? But I still love a dance floor. I still love, you know, I still love whooping it up. That's for sure.
yeah. Is there one track that even if you were like kind of not in a dancing mood, if it was playing, you were just like you just have to hit the dance floor,
Oh God, there's a bunch. There's a bunch. I mean,
or one
like,
to
does it
or
have
one
to
to
be
play?
a famous one?
No.
I've been obsessed. There's this track by Jennifer Cardini that some friends sent me recently called titled Papa La Beija, um, that I've just been loving. Yeah, I love stuff that's like a little bit darker. I like pretty minimal vocals. Um, I like it sexy. I like it a little sleazy. I like devil voices coming in, But yeah, I definitely have a very specific taste with my dance music.
And yeah, and although I'm British, I live in New York, in the East Village, and I see a lot of Amber Martin. I go to Mattachine that she DJs at, and so I must just mention her. I meant to earlier. The track
She's
"Devil's
in the
on
next
the dance
room.
floor.
She's with me. She's with me right now.
I was dancing at the last Mattachine, and she thanked me and my husband for dancing on the way out.
Oh,
Um,
fabulous. She's great. I'm so excited to like do this show with her. It's going to be an absolute hoot.
so was that track written like with her in mind?
No, I had written it with Fever and like, it was just sort of sitting there. I had this demo and I liked the song and we really like worked hard on it and worked hard on those chord progressions and I just wasn't feeling me singing it. It felt redundant. And then Amber was at my house in New Orleans, and I remember her saying, like, you need to write me a song. And I sat there for a second, I was like, I think I might have one. And we recorded the vocals in my living room down there, and it just like the song just came alive. And I just think it's a real highlight on the record, I think.
Yeah, no, her voice sounds incredible on it, and your voices work really, really well together. So I've got one last question for you, and it's a broad one. It's for your favorite piece of LGBTQ plus culture. So it could be a book, movie, TV series, artwork, anything cultural, or a person who identifies as LGBTQ plus. So just someone or something that's had a big impact on you and resonated with you over the years, and why?
I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna say one that I feel like, gets a lot of flack these days, and I don't think it's deserved. Well, I don't know, I'm just gonna say Rocky Horror. I I feel like I think it's one of the best pieces of art ever created, and I think it changed the world, and I think it changed queer life, and sort of I credit it in so many ways for just what it woke up inside me. When I saw it, I must have been 12, 13 when I saw it. Dude, 1975. Yeah, I think I was just hitting like 13 years old. It was just like the perfect age. And like I wrote about it in my book and I just said it felt like getting like a message in a bottle from your future, And that's what it felt like to me. Like it made me, but they weren't making It Gets Better videos back in that time. And so like that was like Rocky Horror was my It Gets Better. And so to me, it's in certain ways, it's sort of like my Rosetta Stone, I think. And also just that thing we were talking about. It's really fun. It's very feel good. It's also very fucking dark and menacing and weird and creepy.
Yes. Yeah, and I loved your book. I really enjoyed the experience of reading that. And there's a sort of part two of your memoirs that you're working on right now. Is that right?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a novel. It's gonna be a novel. But yeah, it'll basically be it'll be couched in fiction.
Okay. Yeah. Well, look
So it'll
forward.
be different. But yeah, there'll be a lot of real life in it.
Well, have an amazing show tonight. Congratulations on the album, and look forward to seeing you live when you're over here in the US soon.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really appreciate this interview. It's super thoughtful.
And love to Amber.
Yeah, I'll let her.